Steve, when did you know that Clay was going to be out, and how did that, obviously, it affected the rotations? Did you have to do a drastic change to what you were planning?
Not a drastic change. I found out about an hour before the game. Yodes texted me, and Clay wasn't feeling well, so pretty easy choice to put Brandon in with that group, and then obviously that bumped up, Lester, and he got some minutes, and Corey Joseph played, behind BP, and so everybody stepped up and did a good job.
You got 47 combined from Wiggins and Kuminga. How different does this team, the dynamic of this team, feel now that those two pretty clearly can play together?
Yeah. I mean, Draymond really changed things with his return because he connects those guys at both ends of the floor, just with his communication defensively, and then the way he helps get us organized offensively. So great to see Wiggs and JK both playing so well and playing well together, and it's fun. You can see the team is we're shifting a little bit, with the look, how we're playing and who we're playing. And tonight, I know Philly was shorthanded, but I thought it was a really good defensive effort from our guys.
I was going to ask about that. How did you feel overall about your defense?
A lot of second efforts. Some deflections, some loose balls. J.K. dove on a loose ball. Fourth quarter that led to a layup and a timeout. I thought that was a key play. I thought Wiggs was everywhere. Raymond put the box score from the Laker game the other night up here, so I don't know exactly what happened in tonight. Did we win? Okay, thanks. Brett Winkler would have had the right box score up here, but I just got to live with the guy that's here.
With Andrew in particular on the offensive end of the floor, what's clicked for him the last couple of games, and what are you liking about the looks he's getting?
I think Wiggs has been better for about a month. We saw it with his defense, with his movement, but I think what's happening now the last few games is, thank you, Raymond, better late than never. I just think Wiggs's defense has been good, like I said, for a month or so, but offensively, with the lineup change, there's a little more space the way we're playing, and we're able to play a little bit faster. And you can see he's getting downhill, getting to the rim. He's doing some things that are very comfortable for him. So he's really starting to get into a good groove.
You say you're doing some different things. Just generally, is it maybe a little more isolation? Certainly Kuminga had the ball up top and dribbling. These are things you're folding into. What are the changes?
Well, it's more where people are on the floor. We're playing more with one big, and spreading the floor. So, if J.K. is playing the 4, that's different than, if it's Loon and Draymond together. So we're getting more spacing and more ability to attack from different spots on the floor. And just trying to keep it really simple offensively. And the guys are doing a good job, kind of playing off of Steph.
How much freedom does he have to dribble it 3-4? You're not a huge dribble guy, I know. I mean, how much freedom are you giving him? Okay, you got your guy, so you go ahead and feel your way to the basket.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving him lots of minutes, and with the minutes, comes production and mistakes, and we're just trying to, help him understand that if he can continue to produce by sprinting the floor and getting those buckets in the paint, that we're willing to live with some of the defensive mistakes and stuff that he's going to get better and better with. I think he's really been much better defensively in terms of game plan discipline with more minutes, and so JK's playing well, playing hard, and it's really fun to see him starting to grow.
Steve, looking at where Wiggins has gotten to, how uncanny was his performance, at the lowest point? Like, we've seen him win a championship, but he just looked like a different player. Like, looking back on it, how did you process that?
Yeah, I think it felt like a perfect storm in a lot of ways. We had multiple guys struggling at the same time, and it wasn't just individual struggle. I mean, if you have multiple guys, it affects the team's rhythm, and we just couldn't get much going early in the season, and it just feels like he's in a good rhythm now, and he's been doing this for a long time, and he's had a lot of ups and downs in his career, but he's always been a big-time scorer, and so I think it's fun to see him rounding into form because he took a lot of flack early on and went through a rough patch there. So it's Wiggs is kind of everybody's favorite guy in the locker room. He's such an incredible human being and just a kind soul, and everyone roots for him. And it was tough, watching him struggle early in the season. But this is a great group, and they support each other. And I think one of the ways Draymond is really helping is he lifts Wiggs up and he lifts JK up. He's kind of their hype man, like he makes them feel good about things. And it's hard to do that when you're not playing. It's much easier to do it when you're actually on the floor. So Draymond's presence is changing things in a lot of ways.
Steve, what does Dario do so well when he comes in to play make, to create opportunities? He had 7 of your 32 assists, and Trace also gave you some really key minutes and some of those putbacks that you were talking about.
Dario generates a lot of offense for us because of his post-up ability. And, that fourth quarter, we went to him 3 or 4 times on the block, and he generated switches, and then they had to react, and he made beautiful passes. And so Dario's one of our best shot creators, and I thought he was great tonight. He didn't make a basket, but like you said, 7 assists and generated a lot of offense for us.
You were just talking about how Draymond influences like JK, and he credits a lot of his growth and improvement to Draymond. Do you think that mentorship it's obviously great for Jonathan, but for the younger guys, do you see that and think it can be good for some of the other guys, like in the second unit, the younger guys?
One of the things I love about Dre is he respects the process of becoming an NBA vet and what it takes, and he talks a lot about how Jermaine O'Neal, Carl Landry, those guys really helped him when he first came in the league, and he's trying to pay it forward, and he wants these young guys to succeed and have the same kind of success that he's had, but he knows it requires veteran leadership and mentorship, and he's been great with that this year.
There was a specific play late where Nurse doubled Steph probably 2.5 minutes ago. He kicked it over to Kuminga, and it was just kind of right to the rim because they doubled off Kuminga.
Yeah.
Is that really where you see his impact, especially offensively for you, where a lot of teams do that, and maybe you didn't have the downhill where he's really giving you
for
that
sure
now.
For sure. JK's giving us a lot of easy baskets, and the difference now from the beginning of the season till now is dramatic in terms of his awareness of spacing and how to get those angles to get those hoops. And so the more minutes he plays, the better he's getting. And there's no question, like just the transition hoops, the buckets in the paint where there's a loose ball or whatever, or somebody drops it to him. We don't get a lot of those. So his ability to generate those easy points is huge.
Coach, tonight Kuminga and Wiggins both had 3 steals each. This is the first time the Warriors have done that in a game with 2 players since last year with Curry and Poole. You played with Jordan and Pippen. What's it like having 2 guys who can strangle out a defense, and what's the impact on the team's morale?
I mean, that's a huge part of NBA basketball, is having wings who can generate some havoc, create some turnovers. You get out in transition, it helps your offense. So it's been fun to watch the last week or two, watch Kuminga and Wiggins together and feeding off each other and playing well, whereas early in the year they struggled together. Thanks, you guys.